All right, welcome everybody to the FanCave. I got another episode coming at you right now. I got Esteban. Little history on Esteban. I've known Esteban for, almost 20
Yeah.
years.
Wow. Yeah.
Almost 20 years. And, one of the cool things about Esteban and I is over the years, we've seen a lot of movies together, movies, TV show. We've always been into that type of stuff. So I thought I would bring Esteban on. We kind of talk about some stuff and go from there. Before we even started, Esteban and I were talking about just watching movies and TV shows, and we had figured, well, let's just get it going. So Esteban, I had asked you earlier if you had watched any TV shows. What are you watching?
Let's see. What am I watching right now? So I'm a big fan of a lot of the things Netflix has been putting out. So been watching a lot of shows on there. Gosh, I'm trying to think of the newest one I've been watching.
Do you watch Ozark?
Yeah, great show.
That's a great show. Yeah, the last season just came out.
I haven't watched the new season yet. I finished off last season, and
I haven't either.
Dude, I didn't think it was going to be a show I'd really like. There's some premise in TV shows where I'm just like, not really feeling it, and doesn't seem like something I like. And then next thing I know, I watch an episode or two because someone suggests it, and I'm hooked. Then it's binge until I, have to go to sleep, and then still don't fall asleep.
Yeah, Leanne had told me about it. She had heard about it from her sister, and she's like, "Hey, I want to watch Ozark." And I watched the preview, and I was like, "All right, we'll give it a shot." And then we started watching it, and then we're like, "Oh, you want to watch another episode?" She's like, "Yeah." So we popped in another episode, and we watched 3 episodes the first night, and I think we finished the first season within 2 days. And the second season hadn't come out yet, so we were hooked from that point forward and going.
Yeah, you gotta love that, man. You gotta love when there's a show that you didn't watch, and the next thing you know, you find out about it, and then you're like, "Oh, well, I have 5 seasons to catch up on. Let me watch this in 4 days and be caught up."
Yeah. Dexter.
I watched all of Dexter. I'm super excited for the new Dexter episodes to come back, because I really was just, the way it ended in the last season, it was falling off there for me, and I was just hoping for more. And then I saw that it was coming back out. I was like, yes, finally.
Yeah.
The
Leanne and I started watching the last season because I just kind of wanted to get caught up on what was actually going on, because in my mind, I remember that last season not being the best. But as I watch it again, the season isn't bad. We got 1 episode left, and I think it was just the finale episode that kind of sucked. But the season itself was good.
At the time, wasn't there a writer strike or something that started right at the ending period? I think that's why it really just kind of started to slip right at the end, which stunk, because they knew that they were kind of wrapping things up, it felt like, as a story for the show, and then the writing just kind of decreased. Because not that the last season was bad, because I remember enjoying it all the way through, but there was just some really memorable seasons in there with great actors, with John Lithgow in there, just amazing talent, and then all of a sudden that last season just kind of finished too fast, wrapped everything up. And
yeah, exactly, that's what it was, because we're 1 episode back, and it was everything was good, and it was going at a Dexter pace. And then it was I look, and I'm like, we only have 2 episodes left. And then it just starts going. And then the finale. And I was kind of I think that's what it was. It just ends too fast. So I think this.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm really, really waiting to see where they're going to go this new series part that's coming out. I don't know. Is it supposed to be a continuation, or is it a whole new?
Yeah, have you seen anything?
Very minimal. For it? I'm not a huge fan of wanting to spoil too much on the previews, but I had to see something because.
Yeah, you might want to watch it because it's pretty intense. It just seems like it is a continuation, just kind of real time. Is that whole time that he was gone off of the air is he just kind of has moved on and is working his own thing, doing what he got to do. So. I'm excited. I think it'll be fun. What else are you watching?
I don't know about. Sorry, I know we're talking TV shows, but
that's right.
I'm really excited for James Bond.
We can talk about anything. I don't care.
The new movie. Not yet.
Did you watch it?
I'm going to go watch it tomorrow. I'm a huge James Bond fan and waiting for Daniel Craig's last film, man. I'm just a little heartbroken. He became my favorite Bond. I grew up James Bond, so my mom, we used to watch it every year. We'd do like a marathon of it. And then I was a Sean Connery fan forever. And then as I got older, the Pierce Brosnan episodes were really popular. I was never a huge fan of Pierce. Sorry, Pierce. But I knew it was kind of just the era that it was in. It kind of had a little bit of cheesiness to it to me. But then the realness that Daniel Craig's James Bond brought, the gritty and not so always in a tuxedo being proper, but he could if he wanted to, just was something new to me, and I loved it. So, and I think everyone's been good.
I read a rumor today, actually just earlier, about, did you ever see The Rock with Sean Connery? So the theory is that he's actually James Bond. Like that that is a non-licensed James Bond sequel. Because if you look at what he was and what he did, that he, being disavowed and all these things, that what happened was he gave them that name, and that's actually his last mission as 007. But it was a fan theory, but people are saying if you watch it, it makes sense. So it's like, oh, that's actually kind of cool. What was your favorite one out of Daniel Craig's?
My favorite one's still going to be Casino Royale. I just thought it was spectacular, beginning to end. I went and matter of fact, we were working together at the time, and I got out of work one day, and on my way home, I pulled into the movie theater, went and watched it by myself, and felt no shame in it, and just left that movie just mind blown and wishing I had someone that I watched it with that day. I was just like, oh, I got to tell somebody. But dude, just great.
I am also a movie by myself kind of person. I like going to the movies by myself. There's
me neither. People like to try to give me some fame for it, and I'm like, I don't care. When I'm there anyway, I zone out. So
no, I was actually going to go see Venom today by myself, but
we're also seeing that tomorrow. It's my
are you going to
it's my middle son's birthday, so we're going to go watch Venom with him, and then later on in the evening when they go to sleep, we're going to sneak out and go watch James Bond.
Nice. Let me know how Venom is. I
will. I've heard good things because, to be honest, I had a lot of doubts. I'm not a huge fan of the first one. I think it was good, but it just didn't fit the world of comics that I've been used to. And I felt like it was just trying to reach for something different than the other DC movies. I mean, the other Marvel movies, and it really did. It was a little bit darker, kind of reminded me of the DC movies. And then I heard in this one there's a little bit more comedy to it, which I'm cool with, as long as it's not overdone, because it does still seem like a very kind of darker, gritty movie for the most part. But I've heard it really works well. From multiple people at work that I've been talking to, and some friends of mine, they had nothing but good things. So I said, all right, let's do it. Let's go watch it. And I'll have all the words to say about it next time. So
nice. Yeah. I'll check that out this week at some point. I don't know when I'm going to check it out. Let's see what else. Did you watch Shang-Chi?
I thought it was really
Shang-Chi?
Cool. I watched it on vacation. We went to San Francisco, watch a baseball game. And while we were there, we were right next to a theater. So we said, heck, let's go watch a movie. And we watched Shang-Chi. Sierra fell asleep immediately. And then I watched the whole thing glued to the screen. And I really enjoyed it. It was, once again, we're in the new phase of Marvel. And I think they're trying some different stuff. I really liked all the more magic part to it. It wasn't just, superhumans and, gods. It was more magic. I really liked the Doctor Strange magic that they had in the previous movies. And this felt like it was closer to that. And it's just something different. So it was really cool. I liked all the tie-ins to Japanese or was it Japanese history or all the Asian history that was in it. It was just really cool how they tried to tie that into being basically multiverse stuff, and thought it was fun. Sorry, spoilers if anybody's watching.
Yeah. If they haven't seen it by now,
it's been out for a while.
Yeah, it's been out for a while. I saw it twice. The first time I saw it, I really liked it, and I was like, oh, I really want to see it again. But watching it a second time, the whole like dimension and the dragon thing made so much more sense because you know what's going on and you can hear what's going on. So for the people who didn't care for the dragons or didn't know what was going on and in the other dimension, if you give it a second watch, it becomes much more clear of what's going on. So second time around.
As far as like the actors that were in it, how do you think they did together? That was one thing I was a little afraid of. I know Aquafina, I've seen her in a few things, and I was like the weird relationship they had at first. I was like, oh boy, I don't know if this is gonna be.
Yeah, I was hoping they weren't gonna pigeonhole me into a relationship here, you know. But I think they worked it out well, and I think the relationship they had was
really
fantastic.
came together at the end. I thought it turned their friendship into a cool story. The fact that she is now part of his story, like the way it ended, you know, that it's their group.
They're like a buddy
and I'm cool with that. I like that. It was a good blend of character for her. It's not just, you know, it's not a Pepper Potts. It's not someone that you see once in a while and she's kind of around, but not really. Like, they're partners.
Right.
So.
Yeah. When Wong, I think is his name, when he's like, you need to come too.
Yeah.
I was like, cool. Like, she's part of it, you know. The only thing that I had... Yeah, the only thing I had an issue with is the whole, like... she learned how to shoot a bow and arrow like within a couple of hours, and she was a sharpshooter. You know what I mean? But
it's still common,
you know, it works. But maybe that's it's still. But maybe that's what her thing was. Maybe that's why it was so important that she was there. So, let's see what else. What else is out right now?
I'm trying to think what else I've seen or been watching or excited to see. How about stuff coming out? How about like
the
Eternals looks great, dude. I still have my comic.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous about that.
I'm a huge fan of the Neil Gaiman version of it, and so I'm hoping this pulls from some of that. I'm not really sure, but I like the characters. So it's once again just different than stuff we've seen in the past from Marvel. It's not the characters everybody knows, which I think they've done a fantastic job at pulling characters nobody knows, like Guardians. Nobody knew who that was, and look the blockbuster that became.
Yeah, ended up being one of my favorites.
Absolutely. The first one was fantastic.
So
not that the second one wasn't.
Yeah. So you are a comic reader, and that's a good thing. So for me and for whoever is watching, so the Eternals, the reason why I'm so about it is I don't know much about them. Obviously, judging from the trailer, they didn't involve themselves in the Thanos snap because that was all supposed to happen. So I think the 10 Rings might be an Eternal thing, the way they were kind of playing that into it. I don't know. But what's the Eternal? I mean, what's their thing?
So their thing was, you know, they were created by the Celestials, I think they're called, or they're the giant guys are. Mm-hmm. And they were only supposed to fight the evil monsters. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with the names of it. It's not a comic I'm super knowledgeable about all the background, but they were just supposed to try to protect the human race from these monsters that were here and hold them back, and eventually they do, and they kind of go into like into the background for millennia and all that.
Almost like their job is done.
Their job is done. There hasn't been anything around, so they just kind of go into normal living. But if I remember correctly, at least in the comics I read, like, you know, some of them are kind of antsy about, you know, just having to sit in the background, and they're still kind of messing around with things here on Earth, but not too much. And some people really took to the just living as a human, and even though they live forever, they're just still living the lives of basic human beings. And then some troublemakers start, and next thing you know, disasters are happening, and they have to get involved to protect humans again. And from there, there's I'm not sure where this is going to go. If there's going to be backstabbings and all that stuff, because I remember correctly, that's part of it too.
Right.
Some of them want a little bit more. So.
Right. I briefly went over the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer with Tony and Brian, but I didn't really get into it too much. What are your thoughts on
No Way
that?
Home? I'm really interested in. I mean, Spider-Man's such a huge franchise with Marvel. Tom Holland's great character too, like great actor for that character. Yeah. And once again, getting to see Stephen Strange back in action, mixed in with him, it's only going to be good things coming from it. The whole multiverse, I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with that. I know that they have all the talks of past Spider-Man showing up in this, but I'm interested to see if it's going to be that, or if kind of Tom Holland spirit, I guess, is like kind of put into the place of those other Spider-Men in the movie. I heard something along those lines could be possible too. So that's why, like, in the trailer, when you see Doc Ock, like, speak to him and say, Peter, or whatever, it sounds like he knows him, he sees him, but he's never seen Tom Holland before, so how do you know it's Spider-Man, Is he seeing the Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man? And then if you notice, like, they're pointing out, like, he's kind of dressed like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, not like his usual self, and so I'm interested to see how it's intertwined into there, like, there's so much to do in multiverses that you can just be, living in somebody's body, or you can be fully there, or there can be 5 of you there, or there can be whatever, it's all up in the air for what could happen. So I'm interested to see how they're all going to tie together.
Sure. And then you got,
after watching the TV show.
And then you got Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse is going to be his movie. So it ain't going to end in Spider-Man. It's going to keep going. I think, this whole phase up until where we were was all about Thanos. I have a feeling this whole now that Thanos is done, I think it's going to be all about multiverse. And I think it's going to be movie after movie about alternate characters. I mean, obviously I think that's probably how they're probably going to introduce the Fantastic Four, probably introduce X-Men and all that, and
what do you think in the new phases big bad's going to be? Any guesses yet?
It might be how to cure the multiverse. I mean, it might be something. Multiverse? Could be something stupid like that. Are you watching?
I haven't watched all of them. I watched up to the zombie episode, and then I've kind of fallen off. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think out of the shows, it's the weakest that I've seen so far. I really turned up liking Loki. I didn't think I was going to.
I did like
maybe
Loki
next
too.
time. I mean, I'm wearing my work polo, but I also for work bought my Loki polo where it has the little alligator, but it has Loki horns on him. It's awesome. Favorite. I wear it to work all the time. But really loved the show. It was really cool. And I mean, even that was kind of starting to dive into, other dimensions and other timelines and things. So I like how they're putting it all together. It started with the TV shows and it's going from there. I was just...
WandaVision.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you watch that? Captain America and the other one. Did you watch
I've watched everything, but just the What If. I've missed a couple episodes.
I didn't watch the
it was good.
Winter Soldier.
It was good.
Falcon one. Couldn't do it. I just didn't. Those characters, I mean, they're good in the movies, but they're not something that I care to watch about. Even like this What If, like I think the last episode that aired is about Thor, and if he didn't have a brother, I don't know. Thor is good, and I like the third Thor movie.
You didn't like the second one?
But it's just not a character.
You didn't like Dark Elves?
Ugh, the second one was horrible. I did not like them. Did you like
Absolutely
that?
Not. Did you hear so the director from that movie? I'm sorry, I don't know his name. I was reading an article where he was saying that there's he has his own cut of that movie. He's like, it'll never come out because he doesn't believe it'll ever come out. But he's like, there's my own cut, and I think it'd be close to what the Zack Snyder cuts are. Have been. It'd be that good. It would change your mind on how that movie was. I was like,
I went with all the girls and we watched every movie, and we got to Thor: Dark World, and I was like, all right, girls, maybe this is the one we could skip. And they're like, no, we want to watch it, and I was like, okay, we'll give it a shot. And I remember watching it, and it wasn't as bad as I originally thought it was. I think it might be a multiple view. It's not the worst one that has been out there, but definitely wasn't the greatest. But you had mentioned the Zack Snyder. We're shifting gears here. Did you watch the Zack Snyder cut?
Of course I had to, man. I was so disappointed with the original cut. I had to try to let it redeem itself, and it did. I absolutely thought this was such a game changer as far as that movie went. The styles that they went with, the look. I mean, I'm a Zack Snyder fan. I loved The Watchmen is my favorite comic book movie that has ever been out, and that's saying something because I mainly like Marvel when it comes to the movies. But I thought that was such a cool movie. Also, I'm a zombie fan, so his whatchamacallit, Dawn of the Dead.
The one on Netflix.
My mind went blank. The Dawn of the Dead is a fantastic movie, and I really thought he brought it when it came to his Justice League. It was really cool. The styles were cool. The everything was just amped up 1,000% in his cut.
Right. And you saw the director's cut for Batman Superman?
It was good. It wasn't as impactful for me, but it was still good.
Right. See, I think this is where I'm going to go with this is when you look at DC and you look at Marvel, I think the issue is planning things out, because Man of Steel, I think Man of Steel was great, and I'm a big Superman fan. I've always been a Superman fan. Man of Steel I liked. Batman versus Superman, the theatrical cut, I didn't hate it as much as other people did, because it was, hey, Superman's on screen, so I was okay with it. I just thought there were some things that didn't quite make sense, but after watching the director's cut of it, I was like, man, why didn't they put that movie out? Because that movie was so much better and there was so much more depth. And even with the Justice League, I mean, I would have been okay if they would have just held off and just let Zack Snyder finish the movie after his issues that were going on. But the problem that I think that DC has is that they don't want to, they're more interested in selling stories than they are, selling tickets than they are about telling stories.
Little one's barging in.
Oh, hey, no.
Go.
Can I help?
Go have your brother help you. Thank you. Always got to build a toy here and there,
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. So anyway, I think they're so interested in selling tickets and they want to get multiple shows in there. They'll sell more tickets that they're not looking at the long game. Because Wonder Woman, I thought Wonder Woman was great. I like Aquaman. That was good. Wonder Woman 84 was okay. Yeah. It had some issues that I had with it, but Shazam, loved Shazam.
Shazam was a big shocker
Shazam
for me.
Was great.
That was as far as the DC universe goes. Captain Marvel, Shazam is one of my favorite characters. I always liked him because, like you like Superman. He's an awesome, invincible person almost, but with very few weaknesses. And Shazam, Captain Marvel is his equal, but with magic instead of being from another planet. And I loved all the comics that I've ever seen where they always have to duke it out or or brawl, and how it's always such a tough fight. And his character was really portrayed, I think, well in the movies. Like he was, the kiddiness of him, but still like a good superhero. Just really, really brought it home.
Loved it. Yeah, I've seen it multiple times here, and the girls love it too. I'm excited to see what The Rock is going to bring to Black Adam. So I think that'll be good. I know they're doing another Shazam movie, and then they'll do Black Adam. So I'm excited for that. I just don't think that anybody has ever sat down in a room and said, "Okay, guys, DC, let's come up with an arc, and let's use these movies to get there." I think it's kind of part of me believes it's what happened with the Star Wars sequels, is that they just kind of are doing it movie at a time, and they're kind of trying to figure out what they're going to do from there. Whereas Marvel, they're definitely planning things out, and I can see it written on the wall that this is their end game, literally. And they, what are we going to do?
They need someone to like overlook the project and just give a grand picture, what it's going to be like, because that's how the Marvel movies kind of started. Jon Favreau was really involved in those, and other executives were really involved in what was going on in the movies, the characters. They tried to, know the characters and everything before, even really thinking through the whole movies to make sure it fit right for their movie. And I feel like DC just hasn't done that. Like nothing felt the same in any of the movies. They didn't feel connected. I don't know what you think of like the Aquaman movies, or any Aquaman introduced Jason Momoa. I was not a fan of.
Yeah, I mean, I liked Aquaman. I don't think that it fit in with Batman versus Superman.
Absolutely did.
Like, there was a story disconnect there of huge proportions that did not make any sense. But if you just kind of block it all and you just watch Aquaman for what it was, I liked it. It was good.
Yeah, his solo movie was definitely the better of the movies. Him being involved with the rest of the Justice League just didn't fit. I thought some of the comedy stuff they did with him was a little weird too, like in some of the movies and previews and stuff. It just put a sour taste in my mouth as far as he went. But I still give it a shot. I'm always going to give these movies a shot because I'm just too diehard to give up on comics.
Yeah. I was a little disappointed. Like, I think of all the Aquaman, like, one-liners, like, when they were in the Justice League, when, Superman's got Wonder Woman's, and he's like, Aquaman goes, he's freaking out. Like, he's losing. Like, that was fantastic. Like, I wish they would have kept that in the Snyder cut. That would have been, I was waiting for that. I'm like, oh, man, they got rid of that. That was like the only line that he had that was any good, But I liked that, I liked his demeanor in that, in those movies. I thought they were good. So Esteban, man, here we are at 28 minutes, man. We're gonna call it. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you. This was fun. We got a lot more stuff to talk about. We can do some reviews when some of these movies come out. I'd like to hear what you have to say. If I have questions about comics, I think you're the guy that I'm.
I gotta brush up.
You do good. You do good. I'll talk to you about it beforehand. But anyway, I wanted to thank you for coming on. This was fantastic. Looking forward to seeing it again. And Esteban, thank you for coming to my fan cave. I appreciate
Glad to be in the fan cave, and can't wait to be back. All right, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Thank you.